Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K exclusive Best Buy Steelbook edition of The New Mutants. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, The New Mutants is officially out on 4K, and as you can see, I have the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, but it is also available in a standard edition available at your local retailers. Now, as far as the movie itself goes, it's had kind of a troubled production period and release schedule. Of course, the COVID situation has not helped it any, but before that it was mired with issues. A lot of times there was a change in the production, like they did some story changes during the filming, and also some massive reshoots that were taking place, and there was a lot of problems. And it does kind of show off a little bit in the finished product. This being the final X-Men related film from the Fox franchise, it kind of goes out a little bit of a whimper, more or less, than a bang. I think something like Logan would have really been the fitting end to the entire series, but what we have with The New Mutants, which does pick up a few threads from those particular X-Men movies here and there, it's okay. It's a little bit muddled in the story, and just the overall look of the film has kind of a trouble finding its own identity. But it's still an okay movie overall. I would say it's not the worst X-Men movie out there. I still hold X-Men Origins Wolverine to that regard. But it's not going to be the winner in a lot of people's books. But production-wise, it looks okay. It's just not, it's just not something that you really would go back to quite a bit unless you're a huge The New Mutants kind of fan. So, alright, we're going to talk about the picture quality and audio of the 4K in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing of the Steelbook. Okay, we have the New Mutants 4K exclusive Best Buy Steelbook here. It's a very cool image. I think some embossing of the facial features would have really put this thing over, but it still looks pretty nice. It's a nice looking steel. And we have the back cover and the spine. And then interior artwork. Oh, looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. The New Mutants has a 1:85 aspect ratio, is reportedly finished at a 4K digital intermediate, and supports HDR10 for the grading. Now, this being a digitally shot movie, it has that overall look to it. A little bit on the clean side. Doesn't appear to be a lot of film grain throughout the movie. So if you're not really a fan of film grain, you'll definitely have a lot more to enjoy with this presentation. For HDR10, this being a very dark movie, it really makes great use of the black levels. I think they're utilized very well. There's a fairly good amount of dark interior scenes, exterior, nighttime shots that make great use of the black aspect. And I think for the most part it looks good. No real elevation to speak of, and if you have a particular TV like an OLED like I do, it definitely makes great use in that area even more so. Level of detail is also very nicely enhanced here. Everything from skin textures, clothing, it's all rendered very well. Up close shots in particular look really well done, and there's really a good amount here to enjoy. Level of color, I think, here is good. This is not inherently a colorful movie. That's usually reserved for things like the abilities of the mutants when they're on display. It makes a good use of a bit of a color pop there. But for the most part, the overall palette of the film is pretty dark. And it's a little bit on the muted side, but that's more intentionally done from the filmmaking process. The HDR10 presentation of The New Mutants on 4K looks really good. It's very dark, so just be aware it has that kind of layer to it. But I think for the most part, for the type of movie it is, it looks really good on 4K. The New Mutants supports a Dolby Atmos audio presentation, and I have to say it's a very immersive overall experience. There's plenty of discrete channel activity sprinkled throughout the movie, and it makes great use of pretty much all the individual speaker placements. Center channel with dialogue comes through clean and clear, no real issues to speak of. Even during the more action-heavy moments, when things are particularly loud, I didn't feel like I was struggling to understand what anybody or any of the characters were saying. The front channels handle a lot of the action activity, and it sounds good. It's very front heavy in that area. It's rendered really well, and they're seamless, you know, from left to right, and everything in between sounds good and makes good use of those particular audio placements. The mid-levels and rears. Now there's plenty of action, ambience, and it's all utilized very well. During especially the action heavy moments, you definitely get things whooshing by your head, and just a couple of just discrete channel sounds in the back really bring this whole thing to life. The height speakers are also utilized very well. There's a lot of discrete channel activity there, and then it's also used to complement what's happening on screen. The LFE is very good. I wouldn't say it's overly heavy, it's overly aggressive. I feel it's a right balance. It definitely makes good use when it's needed, and it complements what's happening on the screen fairly well. I think this is a very nicely balanced audio presentation. Dolby Atmos sounds good, it's clean and clear, and definitely a good way to finish off the X-Men franchise from the Fox library. For the picture quality, I'm going to give the New Mutants on 4K a solid A score. I think it's a very nice looking picture. The HDR10 really brings out the black levels, nighttime scenes, dark interiors very well. Detail also gets a very nice bump up, and when the mutants use their abilities, that nice little burst of color is very welcoming, even if the overall look of the film is a little bit on the muted side. For the audio presentation, I'm also going to give this one a solid A score. There's a great amount of immersive elements here. Discrete channel activity is prominent, and it's an overall very nice sounding audio presentation utilizing Dolby Atmos. So that is my review of the New Mutants on 4K. Let me know in the comment section below if you picked it up. What did you think of the 4K presentation or the movie itself? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365. I will see you at the movies.